Whoa, brother, the new train station models are in and they lookin' spicy. So we're gonna be checking those out today. And we're also gonna casually build an entire city. Hello everyone, I'm Kibitz and welcome back to Satisfactory, where last time we dealt with beans. And also we just started producing, about 900 rubber per minute in this super efficient rubber production plant, which all runs off of 300 oil per minute. So one oil node equals all of this, which is insane. But what's even more insane is that we have 4 of these oil nodes in the area. So what we have to do today to finish off this factory is quadruple what you see before you and make it look super spicy and nice. So it's gonna be a busy one, brother. And also, we're gonna really just focus on the building here today. Last time we did a lot of calculations, went over a ton of math, all of that kind of fun jazz. So today, we're just gonna focus on putting it all together here. And if you want like the layout plan and all that kind of jazz, check out the last video. And also thank you to the developers who have finally updated the train station model. Oh my freaking gosh. It's beautiful. It's better than I could have ever expected. It's just gorgeous. Like, look at this, it just has all these cool walkways on it. It has this cool, like, industrial container moving look. Like the type you see at, like, seaports, except this is for trains. And one of the nicest things is that there's no, like, weird black box on top of the train stations. So they look good from all angles. There's no need to, like, cover them up or anything like that anymore. They just look fantastic. Even just out like this alone, without any building. Of course, we'll have a building though on the back of it, just on the left, for doing all the belt work and such. But for the front, brother, this is pretty much all good. But yeah, the only thing with these though is they haven't changed the icons for these yet. So there's still the old icons in the build menu. But at least they're still here so you can compare like the new versus the old. Specifically, that black box thing I was talking about. Like in the top left of this freight platform here, there's that weird box, and the top of it was just a matte black kind of color. And now, oh gosh, you don't have to decorate around that anymore. Seriously, it helps out so much. Got like the cool wires going across and stuff like that. The animations are pretty much the same, aside from the wire moving. Like everything just moves over to the side, drops in the bin here. And it's pretty good. You know what? No, it's not just pretty good. It's perfect. I honestly really like these a lot. It's like night and day difference kind of thing. They're fantastic. I guess the real funny thing here though is just the trains now. Like, look at this. They're so small compared to the station size. It's like, it's adorable. But of course, not as adorable as our doggo. Hey buddy, where are you scooting off to? Come back here, Ollie. Good, thank you for the leaves. Now, your pen looks even more natural. Beautiful. Look, stands right on top of him. Loves them. Oh man, I love freaking doggos, man. They're the best. Anyway though, as for building, let's get to this. Like I said, lots to do. We pretty much have to just, quadruple the size of everything here. So add 4 layers of these just on top of each other. Same deal over here. I think. Same over there, and same over there. And yeah, that'll make this place a heck of a lot taller. Then we'll work on like figuring out the logistics from that point. For now though, I think we're just gonna boop in all the extra layers and then figure out what to do from there. Well, I can tell you what I did right after building all this. I went right the freak to bed, cause oh my gosh. There's so much belt and pipe work, I couldn't believe it. Usually once you get the initial design all figured out, easy from there, brother. Simplest thing in the world. However, there's just so much clicking. So many thousands and thousands of clicks. Cause look at this. Let's check out the diluted fuel part of this. There are so many pipes and so many belts and so many power lines. You have to keep building and building and building. It's just insane. It's quite insane. This is probably one of the most, like, if not the most insanely tedious thing I've built after the beast. Yeah, pretty sure that's the case. Oh, there's just so much to it, but it's all good. Again, watch last video for like the details and specifics on how it all works. But I guess like if you're new to this video, I'll give you a little bit of context. We turn the fuel into heavy oil residue and polymer resin. The heavy oil residue becomes fuel. The fuel is used to make both plastic and rubber for recycling with what's it called, this recipe here, and this other rubber recycling recipe. And then yeah, we use the polymer resin that we get from that process of turning the oil into heavy oil residue. The resin turns into rubber, then the plastic gets recycled into more rubber as well. Yeah. Like again, watch the last video, I explained it a lot better, but that's like the general workdown. So now for the rest of today, we are going to be busy making this look like not poop, and also loading up our train here. Cause yeah, got a whole train station loading bay to make. We might be moving our hypertube tower into the middle here. I'm not sure. We just have to get rocking and rolling. Let's start with the train station though. It's probably the easiest place to start. We'll meet up with that side over there, and then we'll be all good. So we don't need anything crazy. We just need something that looks good, right? And I suppose we'll bring all of the rubber, which comes out of all of these wall holes here. So it's gonna be 2, 4, 6, 8 belts of 450 rubber per minute. And yeah, just over to here. You know, I don't even think this needs to be like super crazy. Oh, there is one thing that needs to be super crazy with it. Because we are loading in so much rubber and we're transporting so much over such a long distance, like we're going from one side of the map to the other, quite literally, what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to split the 450 belts in two and recombine them back at base. So we're gonna actually need, oh gosh. Wait, what? 8 times 2 is 16. Oof. We actually kinda need 16 freight cars for this. Okay, how many freight cars are in here though? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, we got a bit of a problem. just a small little problem. Okay, so splitting up the belts and making them smaller is one way to increase throughput. Again, let's just being able to bring the 900 from A to B in a fast manner. Another way is just by having multiple trains. So we'll probably add like 2 or 3 trains onto the station, and they'll run in the loop and constantly be picking up and dropping off extra rubber. You see, the problem though with having multiple trains gathering stuff from one train station is the train god issue, which is why I usually like just to split up belts and have less items going into each freight car platform. Because the train god issue is where you have multiple trains picking up from the same station. When you have the next train come in, what ends up happening is it enters the station as the other one might be loading, and as you can see, the trains kind of combine together, and then this one won't pick up anything. They both leave at once, and the throughput is completely debunked. So how we fix that issue is we have to build more train stations. So we'll probably build just another one right beside this. Yeah, that'll be the plan. So this will have to be copied right probably here. Okay. And that way, if the trains are going into multiple stations, that means they won't clip together, they'll actually get loaded, and everything will be all good. And what else is, you know what? Oh my gosh, thank goodness we have all this space here, because this would not be possible if we didn't. All right, so you know what? Things are really working out. So let's double up the train station. We'll get them rocking and rolling. Then we'll hook up the belts and we'll make some kind of like central building here. Oh my gosh. And thank you, past Kibitz, for your unlimited insight for making this platform just above this oil extractor here. So we can actually do something like this. Oh, past Kibs, you sly devil. All right, now we're rocking and rolling. We got the 2 stations now in parallel, and this should work out pretty dang well. We should also have 2 stations back at base, so like both of these train stations and trains go to like 2 different stops, because on both the pickup and the drop off, the train god issue can happen in both situations. So when we get back to base, we'll take a gander. We'll figure things out. For now though, I'm happy with this, and also check this out. But all of the imports are down the middle here. So thankfully I built this off the ground, and we can do a little bit of build work down here. In fact, if we just go over to the outputs of our whole shebang over here, we can make some small item spine coming down this way, and then straight out over, come on, yonder. We should have enough room for both, hopefully, a large storage container and for doing all the belt work. Okay, please, can we fit this? Oh my freaking goodness, dude. Dude, that should be illegal. How does that fit? It's literally right at the pixel of the hitbox of this. Okay. Some things I've planned out, some things are just some pretty dang dumb luck. That is truly amazing, actually. All right, well with that then, oh my gosh, it's gonna be like the easiest thing ever. All right, so at the beginning, everything's gonna come in, all 8 pellets like so. Then, they're gonna come out to here and split between both stations. Just have to find the middle. Oh, there it is, perfect. And right at the middle here, we can have the splitter. So this will go up to pretty much here. Wait, it's clicking. You hear that? Will that technically work? I think so, actually. That's weird. We'll line this up better though, because although this I think will work, doesn't really look good. We'll line that up, and then we'll just have the big bin down here to do a little bit of extra storage. Where are you at, brother? Right there. Good. You go to there. And then from the wall, we'll just have the belt come on down this way, organize itself over to its little extra storage bin, and yeah, everything splits up between both that station and the parallel one. And we just do that like 8 more times, and GG. So right on, all the belt work was pretty simple. Changed it up a little bit to make it a little bit more clean, and now everything can move and groove from the factory to the train. Got a nice little item spine rocking and rolling too, just to get stuff from the higher floors down to the lower floors. And now we just have to make this all look like less poop. Yes, oh my gosh. Floating platforms. These, yeah, there's a lot of mess to work on. Make this more pretty. So we're gonna be rocking and rolling with the area actions mod here, so we can fly around and do stuff relatively quick, because there is quite a bit to do and I'd like to be done it today. All right, but as we get started here, I just want to explain like the layout a little bit. Number 1, I wanted everything to be separate buildings so we could have bridges going everywhere. I love bridges. Walkway bridges, heights, belts moving over chasms. That is my jam, dude. That is my jam. And we have a lot of that going on. So we got pipes moving over here, pipes moving over there. And once all of these walls are closed up, you're not gonna be seeing much except for the bridges, so you gotta make them show somewhere, right? Then we have these middle pillars here, just holding up everything, making it look more stable, because this is too long and have to do something there, right? And it adds a little bit more detail in between all of these big buildings. Like, we don't want the big buildings to be just like straight up giant blocks, but at the end of the day, they kinda will look like that. Like, I'm always imagining the view from back here. Like when we're on the trains moving over this way, we're gonna see things from this angle, right? We gotta make sure we have some life, some movement going on, right, brother? Exactly. Luckily, the train stations are, well, I say luckily, it was all planned out. But with the train station in front, we're gonna see a lot of movement there. But then we need a little bit more details in the background. So we'll probably add in some windows, definitely some walls, and then we need like cool patterns too. And then I suppose the best place to get started with everything then is actually the foundations, making everything less floaty. And because of all the detail we're gonna add into the walls, I suppose we'll be pretty plain with the foundations then. Like probably just this design, where it's just like a solid brick with a couple of this like wing thing going on here. Like we did the main base, like we did here. That should be pretty cool. Cool, so now I've got a little something to give it spice, make it a little bit more interesting. I'm not sure what we're gonna do with this side yet, but we'll figure that out later. For now, this is all looking good. Let's move on. How do we move on? Maybe we start in going in a circle. So we started with this is where everything comes out, and then we go this way. Yeah, let's deal with this, because this is the first processing area for all of the oil. So what would we want to do with this? Well, what I've been doing is I'm trying to have like silver walls to indicate where like items are moving up and down around. So over there, that's where all of the heavy oil residue goes. Over here is where all of the polymer resin goes. That's kind of like the pattern I've been working with. For this building in particular though, it's real, well, all of them are really square. But I do like the amount of detail we have going on here. I'm wondering if we fill in like and add in a roof to this, or if we just do something else. And also considering our main view back here, do we really want it to have a lot of attention? Well, inherently it kind of does because it's right up in front, right? So how do we make it have attention? Probably with glass. Do some big walls, maybe a little bit of something like that too. And yeah, let me mess around with it. Right on, so I did give it a little bit of thought and went through with pretty much all I said. We have the little fin things down there, have the windows, and I added a few little touches for the roof, because I decided I think a roof would be good. And especially with the cool pattern there, yeah, it's pretty neat. Now, there's a lot to do with this still. Like, this is nowhere near complete, but like usually how I imagine building things, or how I go about building things, is I try and get like the base coat on, which is like the real general idea of how it's gonna look. Like we have the windows, we have the fins, we got a roof on it, and then after that I add in more and more detail. And like this is exactly how I'm building like our main base too. Like the pattern's pretty plain right now, but then you add on like the hyper tubes to the side, you start adding in like the side towers, stuff starts getting crazy, a few windows, a bunch of belts, and oh man, over time things get wild. But of course with this project, we already have all the belt work done. However, what we can do is we can start adding in like walkways, and we can have like hyper tubes, and we can have like the whole 9 yards. And again, if you consider our big view like this, if all the buildings kind of had that same pattern, yeah, it looked pretty rad. This big tower though, I think I might move it. We'll see. I mentioned this last time, but yeah, maybe I'll move that inside the base. I'm not 100% sure. I do like this pattern though. Except for one thing, you know what? I'm just noticing it now. I don't like the line. You see, I see that line? You guys see the line. That line where the cement roof meets the wall, it's too abrupt. It's not enough of a transition there. Can we do something about that? What if we put a platform down there? Well, I have one there. That's just kind of like for interior decorating. But could we do more? Like what if we put like this in there? I'm just trying to imagine that all the way across. You know what? Maybe it'd just be better to do the whole thing all the way across. Let's go for it. Oh yeah, that's way better, dude. Way better. And you know what? I like this kind of corner piece here. What if we did that with the corners too? Like the entire corner was like the silver wall. So this would go all the way down, and this would come all the way up. All right, so I'm already liking this a lot better. But now we have this big empty space. Yeah, we're starting to detail this almost a bit too much now. We're breaking away from the palette. That's okay. I think we could do some quick things that could help out. So if we got rid of these walls and added in a few more silver walls just in the other direction, kind of breaks up the red a bit, adds a little bit more detail. That's looking really good, helps out a ton. And okay, you know what, enough. Oh my goodness, this is at the perfect height for a balcony, dude. Please. There we go. And now we'll just have a balcony across. That's gonna look so good. Oh yeah, bud. That adds in a ton. Okay. We need a lot more going on though. It still needs more. And usually like the way about to add more detail or the way to go about adding more detail is adding in more depth. Like, this is still just a flat wall. What if we could push this in a little bit? So we get rid of you. Then once we get a few walls in here, we add a little bit more detail. Maybe like another window so we can see the bottom floor. A couple of doors so we can walk through these indents. Then of course a railing here if we're gonna be walking around. All right, now we're getting somewhere. But then there's one last aspect where it's gonna be like all the patterns are vertical. So it's like line, 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 up and down. Do we want that all over the place, or do we want to do something different? What if we indented the entire bottom here? So not just like every so often, but we go right from here, delete all the rest of this wall, and there we go. Now we got a horizontal pattern and vertical patterns. We got patterns all over the place, brother. I've even added in some Miller piddles to make it look even more snazzy. Because realistically, we're not gonna be walking across that deck, it's just for show, right? But man, is it showing? Cool. And effectively what we've done is we turned a big square box into a mildly interesting big square box. And there's still even more detail we can do here too, adding in more hypertubes, more balconies going up and down, and there's interior work to do, oh boy. But I think we got a good idea of the look we're looking for. So if we back up to our viewing point on the train tracks, and we just copy this kind of design to all of the rest of the buildings, I think we're gonna be in a good spot. You know what's not? Okay, enough. You know what? This tower gotta be moved too. It's not in a good spot. It's bugging the heck out of me. It's like we have this cool factory and then all in front of our face. Yeah, we're probably gonna move it like inside the factory, maybe even over there, I don't know. We're gonna make this look beautiful, brother. But it's gonna take a bit. And there we go. Now we pretty much have the same design we did on the first building throughout the entire factory, kind of conjoining it all into one unified complex. You can also notice I moved that freaking tower out of the way, so now it's not blocking the entire view, and yeah, it's looking real good, brother. Looking real good. Still a lot of work to do, but we have made a lot of progress. So checking things out. With this large building in the back here, this is where the fuel is being diluted. I tried to not do too much detail back here since there's so much in the front of it. So we just have the legs kind of taking up the bottom half, and then giant windows on the top half with a little bit of spice on the left and right. This middle building here is surprisingly in our face, so I tried to do as much as I could. I've added in the windows and it kind of looked like an office building, so I was like, all right, let's try and finagle the belts all over the place, make it look a little bit different. And then I went out of my way, complicating the belt work, just so we could have some more stuff connecting to different buildings. Like, right here, we just have rubber going from this building to that building, and then back to this building, on the same floor. Like, it's completely pointless. It just looks good though. And since that wall isn't like a huge focus, just adding in the few belts back there is all it needed. I like it. I like it a lot. That's gonna be the same situation with this final building way over here. Like, this wall doesn't need a lot of detail because we have all these pillars in the middle. And it's just stuff going everywhere, so that'll be fine. And then again, from our viewpoint way back here, we can obviously see that there is a giant brick in the way, in the form of that tower. So there's no point really detailing a wall that's gonna be pretty much blocked off most of the time. Like, yeah, you don't really see much. So now the next big things to do are some final detailing work. We need to add walkways going like amongst all the buildings. Like, I avoided adding in a lot of walkways to these back buildings because now we want to connect everything together. So we can walk from the train station to our hypertube tower to all the different buildings and all the different floors, and hopefully we can see everything that's going on. And if not, we'll have to have a couple of hypertubes running around here too. And you know, that would look pretty good as well. And then finally, the big thing is this center platform. It's actually not all that important. It turns some resin into rubber for recycling, but of course it's right at the center of everything, so we gotta do something spicy with it. Ooh, and you know what? I was thinking of doing all of the walkways first, but we should probably actually do the design for this first. Probably priority, so we can have the walkways maybe, wait a second, go through here, and this can be like the central area for the entire build. Like we can have monitoring stations, maybe some power stuff. Dude, because there's no other point to this lower floor right now. Like we have this floor extend out underneath this platform. We add in some walls, some windows. Oh yeah, this is gonna be good. Yeah, so now we come from the train stations here. Made like a little bridge, added some windows, like I said, and dude, we got like a little central plaza, like a control room. Except we don't really control anything, nor can we really? I guess we could make like a power grid type dealio going on in here, but I don't think that's super necessary. But it will be super necessary to make this look good. So I decided against using any hypertubes in this build. They're cool, but having more walkways, adding more detail to the exterior will look much, much better. Like, look at all of this, it's crazy. We're going up, we're going over, we're going more up. You picking up what I'm putting down? And like when we look at these walkways from afar, dude, it's looking groovy, man. We only need more to make it even more groovy. Groovy beyond, groovy plus ultra. What? Totally planned. Okay, actually, you know what? No, that's pretty good. I don't know. But yeah, now we have our main hub. I'll add in another window there, a little bit more detail. And yeah, just going absolutely crazy with walkways. Dude, I freaking love walkways. They're the #1 industrial looking thing in the game, aside from all of the literal industrial machines. And then I'm gonna try and have them go into all the production lines and kind of see what's going on, just so we can overview and whatnot. Yes, quite whatnot, indeed. And speaking of how you guys liking this overview now, oh yeah, bud, all of the walkways are added in. Oh, and we can move and groove everywhere, anywhere, and all the where, at any point in time. Because in between all the buildings, we have pipes going everywhere, we have bridges attaching floors together, we freaking have things going up, things going down, balconies, bridges, and just like so much more. Oh yeah. You know what? Oh my gosh, wait. Has it finally happened? I think we're actually done. I've decided to leave the top of this area just as is because it looks busy and cool, so, oh my freaking goodness. So after an entire week of working on this one video, it's finally completed. Oh my goodness, please guys, remember to leave a like for this one. Holy, this might be the biggest one episode project that we've ever done. In fact, no, it is. It absolutely is. So that's wild. But what's gonna be more wild is finally turning this thing on. So power to there, and that gets everything rocking and rolling. How much power are we using? 9,000 right now? Goes straight up to about 12,000, 13,000. So that's not bad. Everything's warming up though. Like these guys are just starting to pump up, alrighty. And all the crude oils going over to the heavy oil refineries, making that tasty, tasty blue resin. And that purple oil residue. That's the oil, that's the residue. Where is the polymer? Wow. That's a lot of polymer, brother. So that's rocking over that way. Good, good. Another balcony, just to get us up to see the polymer. You see, it's walkable, it's talkable. It's not actually talkable, but it's amazing. Okay, now the polymer is combined with water, and that makes the rubber. Let's go over this way, check out the heavy oil refinery stuff, which is all getting turned into residual fuel. And oh man, brother, that's a lot of fuel. And then once we get over this bridge, we can see that all of the fuel is combining with rubber to make recycled plastic. The recycled plastic is then sent out over this way and combined with more fuel. And this makes all of our precious, precious rubber. But then finally, everything comes from that tower, goes down the super spine, moves and grooves, and eventually ends up in here. Or it should. This thing's gonna take quite a while to warm up. There's just a lot of pipes to fill and a lot of weird flow rate to deal with. But I suppose there is one more big thing that needs to be done here, and I need your help for it. But we need like a code name for this project. So in earlier seasons, we've made like creations like the Beast 2, the Brain, etc, etc. So leave me some suggestions in the comments for what we should call this one. And also, don't be afraid to post multiple suggestions as well, because I'm gonna be pretty dang picky for a project like this. Like, this is incredible. However, though, that's gonna be all for now, so I hope you all enjoyed, and look forward to the next episode, where we can finally put all of this rubber to work and make our crystal oscillators. But again, that's gonna be all. So have a fantastic rest of your day, and bye-bye.